about 3 or 4 guys in blue shirts there that got to the tailback simultaneously, as it looks like we're still without a signal here. We'll bring you the pictures back just as soon as we can here. No score, 4:33 to go, opening quarter on the AZCFL Game of the Week. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron. It's the Outlaws and the Thunder, and both these teams have a combined win streak of 5 straight games as Brandon Schilling takes the snap here in a shotgun formation. There goes his tight end in motion. That is Jacob Reed. They run another handoff. They run laterally this way, and running the rock once again is Lopez. He's carried the ball 3 times here for the Outlaws, and this time the Thunder kind of read and react, and they string him out a little bit. They're there to make the stop after some positive yardage there from Lopez.
It sounds like, we're going to get a 50-carry night just from the Outlaws backfield here, Kevin. But this is what they want to do. They want to get that 4 or 5 yards a play and set up these third and manageables, which is exactly what they have here. Especially if they start converting these, they're going to stick with this game plan.
Third down from the 33-yard line. Once again, breaking the huddle and lining up to the far side is Noah Fleck. He's the wideout. Seeley in the slot to the near side. Full wide receiver package again for Schilling. It's Lopez, the lone tailback. They fake it to him, and they run a pass out in the flat. It's caught there by the tight end as he puts his foot in the ground, takes it up the field to the 10, the 15. He's finally going to be run out of bounds on the far sideline. Excellent tackle there, and perhaps a touchdown-saving tackle for Josiah Holloway, but it was 42 Jacob Reed, the tight end, right there in that kind of that H-back spot there. Took a little dump pass from Schilling, and how about the move that he put on around the 30-yard line? Put his foot in the ground, broke it outside, and picked up some more valuable yardage, little yards after the catch, Cody.
Yeah, same thing that they did the last series, quick RPO, quick screen. And Jacob Reed, how about putting his foot right in the turf and putting a Thunder defensive back on ice skates, making a man miss, and then zooming up the field for about 35 yards. Monster gain for the big tight end, Jacob Reed, for the Outlaws.
Josiah Holloway, the touchdown-saving tackle. He's got the only takeaway in this football game. It's 1st and goal to go as the Outlaws are on the march here. They are inside the red zone. Ball will be spotted. We'll call it around the 12. Snap back. They give it to Lopez. Makes the first man miss in the backfield, and here comes the cavalry, and they slam him down to the turf. So good pressure up front. Savoy was the one guy there, and he tackled Lopez, but good pressure by the guys up front. Oh, okay, there we go. Well, see, and that's an interesting point there. That's a good point out. So we just got that word here. If you think we're talking to ourselves, we are in many cases. So Larry Williams, so 21 is actually Ben Williams. We were wondering how they were doing that, but you have to keep in mind, on our roster, Wilfredo Lopez is listed as the DB. I questioned it right away. It just didn't sound right that was Lopez. And now we get the look. That is Ben Williams. He's the leading rusher in the league, 514 yards before he toted once tonight here, Cody. Second down and goal from the 9-yard line. Schilling on a play fake through the back of the end zone. And the ball is going to be caught, but the receiver couldn't keep his feet in bounds. What a magnificent catch in the back of the end zone. Nice throw there. Falling away from the defender. He had what they call a contest right there in his face, Cody. And a nice throw there off his back foot by Schilling. Only the wide receiver could have caught that ball. It looked like it was Nicholas Murguia as he fell out of the end zone. If replay was in effect, CC, I'd say let's take a look at this one. He might have gotten his feet down, but to the naked eye of our officiating crew, the gentleman did not make the call.
Yeah, and Schilling actually had a short, quick, flat, wide open in the end zone. Went for the deeper back pylon shot, and I believe the receiver stepped out.
I like the route. Schilling from the pocket, escapes pressure. Now he's going to go down, and he's going to get dropped. And that's going to be an easy sack for the Thunder. Right there, closest to him was Bradley Friesen. And, Cody, I walked across the field on the way in. We talk about this every time that we're here at Bellbank Park. At nighttime, things start to get a little slick, a little precipitation, and a little moisture starts to develop on these fields out here. And I thought it was almost slick on the way in here on what it was a relatively dry day here in the Valley.
And talking to multiple players, especially the ones that play that 7 o'clock game, they say, especially in the first half, they can just feel it getting more slippery, especially down near the end zones. The field up here looks like it's in tremendous shape, but it does get a little dewy down there at that 7 o'clock game.
They started play here at Bellbank Park as early as 10 o'clock this morning. This is the fourth game on this surface, and this is the game of the week on that CMX network. Arizona Cactus Football, the game of the week on that CMX network, powered by Cactus Fuel Drink. And for Cactus Fuel Drink, it's all about refueling tomorrow's athlete, keeping the athletes hydrated without all the sugar. Quarter number one is in the books. We're going to take a break, pay some bills. When we come back, the second quarter, this is the Arizona Cactus Football League Game of the Week on the CMX Network, powered by Cactus Fuel Drink. We welcome you back to Bellbank Park here in Mesa, Arizona at the Legacy Sports Complex. They changed directions. Now working left to right are the Phoenix Outlaws. It's Brandon Schilling from his own 19-yard line. Throws for the end zone, and the ball is incomplete. Threw a nice ball to the corner of the end zone. Excellent route there. Love the fact from our viewpoint here, you can see all the action. And on that fourth down throw, they went for everything. They went for the home run ball. And once again, they went for their guy who's been targeted 4 times here in the early going. That's Nicholas Murguia. The wide receiver was actually open. He threw it in between 2 defenders, Cody, so it would have been a perfect play had they executed.
Yeah, he had the safety rovering over to that half side, and he thought the corner would get to the back pylon. Just let him just a little bit too much. They also had the Thunder number 4 corner, Josiah Holloway, who had that first series interception for the Thunder secondary floating back there. He came off the hitch and worked towards the back of the end zone, towards the corner. He was also in the premise. But back-to-back red zone stops now for the Tucson Thunder defense. Big play for both teams.
And go back to that for just a second for Holloway. He had the pick to thwart one drive in the red zone. Then he also had the touchdown-saving tackle on Jacob Reed, the tight end, as they run a little jet sweep to the near side, and there's nothing doing at all.
Tevin Ray is absolutely balling. He had that first quarter sack here for the Outlaws, and I know they've been mix and matching him in different positions. He was playing a deep safety halfway through this season. Now he's more in the box at a linebacker spot, and he is flying sideline to sideline here early in this football game. Another tackle that results in a 3 or 4 yard loss, and that's just another player in that front seven for the Outlaws who gets after it every single down, Kevin.
Ty J. Grigsby was the ball carrier, a loss of 4. That TFL for the Outlaws. That is their second TFL in this football game. It should be noted, this is the second game. The previous meeting, it was a victory for the Outlaws. They won 13-0. They actually pitched the shutout. Neither team had scored in the first 3 quarters of that game, and now there's going to be a sack on the interior. Charles Belts, the 4th, goes down. He gets dropped. The quarterback sacked there, and it looked like for the Outlaws right there, as he described it himself, as he's putting some food in his mouth. Carl Mons right there, the defensive end, give him the sack. And I tell you what, Carl Mons, he lives right there in that backfield, right where the quarterback likes to plant and throw. That's where Carl Mons likes to play football.
Yeah, Outlaws just absolutely loaded the right side. It was Mons, but I also believe it was Zachary Salzman and then Tevin Ray on a delayed blitz coming off the edge. Too much for the left tackle for the Thunder to handle, and cleanup shop for the defensive line for the Outlaws.
A loss of 5 on the play. So for the Thunder, they got to dig down deep again. Charles Belts, the 4th, 3rd and a country mile. Once again, we'll call it 3rd down at about 19 yards. Ball is on the 12-yard line. Belts back to throw. moves to his left, surveys. Now he's going to tuck it run to the 10, 15, 20, and he'll step out of bounds around the 22-yard line. That's all he could do, but the Thunder will be left short on the opportunity to move the sticks right there on that third down play. But you have to really respect the decision-making for Charles Belts IV because there was nothing doing. That Outlaw secondary went lockdown right there. There was nobody open. All Belts could do was just move the football with his legs.
Same thing from the Outlaws. They were loading up on that right side, brought the pressure in, but really athletic play by Charles Belts, the Thunder quarterback. He actually makes the Outlaws defense lose contain. He escapes to the outside and picks up a huge chunk there, and it looks like they're going to punt here, but with Belts in, you never know, man. That's going to add some you definitely have to prepare when the quarterback's back there on fourth down.
That's what we call a wrinkle. He's one of those guys you got to absolutely be accountable for.
And there's the fake right there. Yep.
This is Grigsby. Grigsby to the edge. Can he get there? And Grigsby's going to lunge for it, and I think he's going to get the first down. So how about a little razzle-dazzle there in punt formation for the Thunder? They move the football with Ty J. Grigsby. He has his prints all over this football game, but in punt formation, he's able to move the football. They get about 12 yards, and it was that second effort as Grigsby lunged towards the boundary, and he was able to spot the stick right there, and he got past the stick. Excellent spot on the football as well.
Hey, sometimes we get lucky as broadcasters, right? We just spotlighted that, hey, you got the quarterback, one of your best athletes out there in punt formation. You have to attain these things, especially when setting the edge for the Outlaws. Lost contain again, and a great play by Grigsby, diving, great effort, grabbing the first down, and the Thunder keeping this game. I mean, literally, they have been in control of this football game here, picking up multiple first downs.
They work right to left. This is their third offensive series of the night as the lights start to take effect here at Bellbank Park. This is going to be a quarterback keep, RPO 30. 35 and taking on a couple of tacklers at the 35-yard line, taking a couple of shots was the quarterback Belts the fourth, but up there for the Outlaws in a big way was Tevin Ray, and Tevin Ray with the shoulder thump right there put a pop on the quarterback, Cody.
Yeah, and Jordan Brown, the deep safety for the Outlaws, coming up, filling the alley, and this just talks about the heart from Charles Belts. A lot of quarterbacks, hey, they slide, get out of bounds. Nope, he turned upfield, went shoulder to shoulder with him, picking up just a couple extra yards. Thunder have heart, man. I mean, this quarterback is putting everything out there, especially with a lot of these read option plays, and they are keeping drives alive here with first downs and second and third manageables.
Cody, at one point after 3 games, the only one that had scored a touchdown was Charles Belts the fourth. He had their only rushing touchdown. That was before they put up 18 points and 19 points respectively in their back-to-back victories. Belts from the gun fires outside, first completion of the night, and making the catch right there on the outside of the numbers. That was the Thunder's Montana Davis, and it looked like he got absolutely ripped down to the turf. Tyson Muse was there, and he clotheslined him. Just absolutely hammered him down to the turf.
Well, quick hitch, that's one of those ones where the coaches are going to say, get upfield, get north to south. You try to cut back. When you cut back on an outside hitch, who are you running into? Inside linebackers. That's usually a recipe for disaster. Inside linebackers love that cross hit right there, and they actually end up losing a yard. I believe it's going to be a 3rd and 4 situation here for the Thunder.
3rd down and 4 from the Thunder 35-yard line. Watch out for linebacker number 2 coming out of the middle of a third-year player out of Compton, California. That is Johnny Grant. Watch out for number 2 showing blitz here. He backs out of it. Some more misdirection there, but it's going to be Belts trying to move the chains as Charles Belts faked a couple of handoffs. They had all kinds of guys going in different directions, and I think that might have even slowed down the timing of the lineman pulling there, Cody, but it was Belts picked up a yard, maybe a yard and a half, but they'll be set up shop with a 4th down and 3, and it looks like they want to go for it.
Yeah, multiple ways to run that play there. That's a shotgun fly sweep option. Quarterback took it almost like a midline option play there. You can have backside pull that lead up, but the front for the Outlaws so fast and active, making the play, and this is a monstrous 4th down. I'm going to call this the biggest play of the first half right here, Kevin.
Early indication at 8:40 to go in the second half. In this second quarter, snap is back. They're going to throw the football, and
we're going to have offsides.
Clearly, this play is going to have to be replayed because everybody kind of stopped, but for good measure was Belts the fourth throwing it down the field. Cody, you see where they spot the football. And if you're Coach Joshua for the Thunder, you're not going to have a fake punt where you run it deep inside your own red zone and move the chains that way and then punt it on 4th down and 3. You're going to continue to have that same killer instinct and that same mindset that you want to just run this football right down the Outlaws' throats.
Well, I mean, what's killed the Outlaws all season, Kevin? When we broadcasted those games, they shoot themselves in the foot. Multiple false start penalties inside the red zone. They've jumped offsides a million times. Just crucial turnovers in situations. Thunder are looking to expose that, and they have early on in this game.
Self-infliction has been a problem for Steve Seeley's team, no doubt about it. Belts back to throw. He throws a deep ball near side, and the ball is going to be caught by Grigsby down the sideline. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. He's going to waltz into the end zone for a touchdown. A 69-yard touchdown pass from Charles Belts IV to his wide receiver, Ty J. Grigsby. And how about that? The Thunder strike first.
I love this play right here. Spread out, 2 receivers on each side. The inside corner, quick hitch. This the OG smash route right here, Kevin. Safety has half the field. He doesn't get over in time, and Belts puts this exactly where only his receiver can catch it, right on the sideline. And Grigsby does a phenomenal job of tiptoeing the sideline, high-stepping a diving defender, and sprints into the end zone. And the Thunder, a big touchdown to start this first half.
Huge play right there. What a ball there by Charles Belts IV. And the fact that the high step at the 15-yard line to break a tackle, that was magnificent. And he finished in the end zone. What a play. And we go back and double-check the numbers. That was a 59-yard scoring strike. Charles Belts IV to his wide receiver, Ty J. Grigsby. And the point after the try is no good. Effort was there for the T-Birds. Their place kicker, Dominic Hall, missed that one. He, too, lost his footing as he tried to drive into that. As he planted that left foot, tried to bring his right leg and his sweeping leg through there. And he was just, he missed fire because he lost his footing. And we've seen that twice now. The old turf monster coming up here and rearing its ugly head. But it was the throw in the pressure by Charles Belts. 59 yards later, it's a waltz into the end zone for the Thunder's Grigsby. And how about that? They strike first here in a game that they didn't even score on in the first meeting. They were shut out 13-0. And here they are. They're posting a donut in the first half.
And Thunder just coming up here, making the 2-hour drive to Legacy and Bell Bank Park with nothing to lose, Kevin, right? And they're just taking advantage of situations. They're in 3rd and short. They're getting the Outlaws to jump on 4th down. Heck, they're getting them to over pursuit or suck in containment, picking up the big punt fake first down. That was huge in that drive. And then getting them to jump offsides on a 4th and short, and then connecting on the deep bomb there. I want to talk about the slipping really quick. There's players inside this Facebook chat. Adam McPherson, who played at 10 a.m., he said that field was slippery this morning. That might be huge in the special teams game.
Interesting. All right, this is going to be Ben Williams from his own 15, 20, 25, 30, through a big hole, 30, 45, and he's finally going to go down around the 47-yard line. But I tell you what, the ball might have come loose. The ball came loose. The Thunder think they've got it. And the Thunder players need to get on the other side of the football and then point that way. But now there's a late penalty marker coming in, and this gives us an opportunity to introduce to you our AZCFL officiating crew here. The referee is Daniel Mena. Our umpire tonight is Anthony Miller. The line judge is Nick Rubat. Our head linesman is Kevin Quackenbush. The side judge this evening is Tito Smith. Our field judge tonight for the AZCFL officiating crew is Troy Stewart. It's DJ June. He's our back judge. And the center judge is Barrett Furman. Once again, Cody, Matt Archer spares no expense. He's got the best officials in the business right here. And for 4 crews all day long, we get the best of the best right here.
Yeah, once again, you can't say enough about this facility. I know they built this entire thing this past year, and it is incredible. I mean, you were talking about how dewy the field gets and slippery, and obviously that's unfortunate, especially for the players, but just you get the look of the Superstition Mountains all over here in East Mesa and Gold Canyon, and from up in the broadcasting booth, it is an incredible sight.
It really is. It's a spectacular view and spectacular venue here as they march the Outlaws back. I want to go back to that first game once again. The Outlaws shut out Tucson 13-0, and for the Thunder, they had only scored 12 points in their first 4 games, Cody. So they were able to put on 18 against the Hawks. They beat the Titans 19-14. So they're starting to find their way a little bit offensively. And we just saw that play. Charles Belts, the fourth, to Ty J. Grigsby some 59 yards later. That's a house call. And throwing it over the top, great ball. Great execution, and then Grigsby really did the rest.
And Belts has made a couple of those throws, right, Kevin? Just put in tight windows where only his receiver can make the catch, and big plays have happened.
Well, he's been under duress, so for him to make that throw right there as the pressure came in. So now down 7, make it 6-0 with 7:38 to go. There's Ben Williams. Ben Williams makes a cutback. He's in the open space. He's going to go the 30. The 20. No one's going to catch him. Oh, they do at the 3-yard line with explosive speed right up the middle. It's Larry Williams exploiting the defense as he got a great block up front and then just that burst of speed through that secondary and then into the open area, Cody. I thought he had enough gas in the tank to house that, but you have to credit the secondary. No quit in that group as they were able to haul him down. It's very difficult to track down Ben Williams.
One of the best running backs in this entire league, if not number one, the best running back here in the Arizona Cactus Football League, Kevin. I love that formation, offset fullback. They just punch it through the C gap. Ben Williams makes one cut, and he's gone. Huge run from Benny Williams.
Unofficially, 58 yards for Ben Williams. They run it again, and this time taking the tote was his – well, you just may double check that. Could have been John Lewis there, but I think Williams took a play off. No, they're going to go back to Williams.
Yep.
Ben Williams is Nebraska Mike Rozier old school. He's got that half-shirt look. You can kind of see the six-pack working for Ben Williams right there, but he gets the ball, has a home run opportunity, and they give him the rock one more time right after that.
And that's what I was saying. Any team that lose a player like Boobie Conley, who we noted earlier in the game is injured and not in for this game, it, of course, helps to have another, RB1 running back in the backfield like Ben Williams, who I really think is going to get 30 carries tonight, Kevin. I mean, and he can. He is a workhorse out there for the Outlaws.
Ashur McMillan lines up with single coverage to the left. 2 backs now. They run it to Boobie, and he's going to get jammed up and shot down in the backfield. Right there, knifing in, making a big-time tackle off the edge for the Thunder was Frederick Camarena, one of the better defensive players for the Tucson Thunder, and he showed you right there. That is, I want to say that might even be the coach's son, but Frederick Camarena with a defensive gem right there to get in the backfield to disrupt things and actually just ignore the offensive line from that right side.
Thunder have tightened up down in the red zone, Kevin. I mean, this is the third chance here, or the third time the Outlaws have been inside the red zone here in this first half. They threw a pick the first series. The second series, they went for it on a 4th down, did not connect. And here we go, a big 3rd and goal on about the 7 here. And to me, this is, if you're going to go for it on 4th down, you can absolutely run the rock here as well. But see if they do a play-action rollout with Schilling.
He claps his hands, snaps his back, looks right, steps, and evades some pressure. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he's going to dive in, and he's going to fall towards the end zone. And one official says he's in, and that's going to be a touchdown on the ground from Brandon Schilling. And so Brandon Schilling on the quarterback keep literally had to sidestep defenders and cut it back against the grain. He was able to fall forward, and he was tackled right on the goal line, and the ball had broken the plane for 6 points.
That's a great job by Schilling. Not only, showing his dual threat ability, but his first 3 reads, he was able to progress all 3 reads, step up, tuck the ball in, shoulder square, and punches it in for 6. The Thunder secondary did a tremendous job of switching those combo routes on the front side of the field. Schilling doing an even better job of eluding pressure, stepping up, and getting the big touchdown for the Outlaws.
Francisco Fuentes is the place kicker out of a hold from Jamel Ward. I saw Jamel Ward catching balls, deep balls, before the ball game, and he's got some speed, and he's a big fella. He's the holder here in this case. For Fuentes, snap back, hold us down, and the kick is on its way. The kick is up, and we will not get an indication there. There's a foul on the play. Here comes The referee, Daniel Mena, indicates a procedure penalty up front against the Outlaws. And in a 6-6 tie, there's nothing easy about point after tries. The special teams always really on audition here, Cody, right? They always have a chance. The wrinkles that we see and the challenges that we see throughout the week, they've got to be just a lack of time spent on special teams. I'll back them up at least 5. So this will be from the 8. Snap is back, and the kick is on its way, and the kick is no good. He missed it wide left, so Fuentes had a chance at it out of the hold of Jamel Ward, and the kick is wide left, so we remain tied at 4:48 to go to the break in a very entertaining first half. Only 2 touchdowns have been scored, but some well-played defense on both sides of the football,
And
Cody.
that's a great answer series for the Outlaws offensively. Nice job by Schilling, and especially utilizing the legs of Ben Williams. But I want to go back to the missed PAT there, Kevin. I mean, how many times have we seen that from the Outlaws where they have just made either a mental error pre-snap, false start penalty on an extra point attempt, a punt where the snap goes far over their head and it's actually landed in the end zone for an opposing touchdown. I mean, this has happened over and over and over again. And if they can clean that stuff up, they are, to me, a top 3 team in this league. If they don't do that, that is going to lose them games, you know. And right there, the mistakes that they made tonight has kept the Thunder in this game and made it a 6-6 game.
Well, you think about some of the positioning and some of the standings and things that we've seen earlier. This thing is starting to get very, very interesting, Cody, because the top team in the league, the undefeated team that we talked about, the Arizona Spartans, they fell earlier in the afternoon. They lost to the Rebels, so the Rebels now at 6-2. The Spartans are 7-1, and the Canes are 7-1 after a victory today. So with a win here for the Thunder, they would be 3-5. The Outlaws would be 4-4. But if you flip the coin with a win here for Phoenix, they'd be 5-3, and they're starting to think about the top spot again.
And the only reason why the running Rebels won today is because Zach Elvira was not there, you know. So Zach was at the banquet. He wasn't playing, and I told him, man, hey, you can't play another game this season. The Rebels just beat the undefeated Arizona Spartans because of it. But now, great job by the Rebels. I mean, and they're starting to separate. Those 3 teams, Kevin, are really starting to separate themselves. The Outlaws, though, are right in the thick of it. I mean, we broadcasted their games against the Canes and against the Spartans, and especially in that Canes game, they were 1 or 2 plays away from winning. And I know that can happen in many, many football games, but legit, if they did not jump off sides, you know, instead of 7 times they did that game, maybe 4 times, especially in clutch 4th downs, they were going to win that football game against the Canes, and they just weren't able to get it done.
So for the Thunder in a 6-6 tie, they'll begin this drive on their own 32-yard line, working right to left. 2 backs, 1 to the right of the quarterback, Belts, the 4th one to his left. And for Belts, he's back to throw. Had a play designed. He wanted to maybe get the football to the back out of the flat. That was Angelo Martin. Instead, he tucked it and ran it. It picked up about 5 yards, but we're seeing this dual threat, Charles Belts, the 4th. We've already seen him beat the Outlaws with his arm strength defensively, throwing the ball over the top and over the secondary for a touchdown. And now it's his fleet of foot, that footwork that he's using in the pocket there, and really a phone booth. He's able to get some space, and he looks pretty impressive running the football.
I really like that formation and play style by the Thunder because you just have a split back shotgun there, and it's an RPO as well. I mean, you can either go inside zone with the handoff, or he's got the other back swinging across the field, and what it does is it keeps inside linebackers disciplined. The Outlaws like to blitz. If they're consistently bringing that A-gap blitz, someone's got to float over to the swing pass. So watch them connect on that swing pass, though. And as we have Tevin Ray on the strong side here, let's see what he does.
Low snap for the quarterback. This is Belts with all kinds of time. Flush to the right. Stops, fires down the middle of the field. The ball is going to be caught at the 40-yard line, taking it inside the 35, and it'll be dropped around the 30-yard line. Nice throw right there, but making the catch was for the Thunder. Unfortunately, we don't have his number. That's 32 on the receiving end of that one. A fantastic throw. You talk about Belts the 4th. He set up his feet. Great footwork again. Planted and fired an absolute dime down the middle of the field in stride to the wide receiver for big-time yardage. And that's another chain-moving throw for Belts the 4th.
And Belts is not playing like a quarterback on a team that's 2-5. I mean, he has just a flurry of confidence in this football game, Kevin. Like you just said, he is showing his elusiveness on the pocket, but what he's doing a great job of is setting his feet, squaring his shoulders to the receiver, and dropping dimes with some accurate deep passes here, and it's moving the chains in a big way for the Thunder.
Unofficially a 30-yard pass play. Penalty marker down. Here comes the pressure up front, and the Outlaws are right there to answer the bell on this particular carry as they start to sense it just a little bit, how their team is in an absolute dogfight here in the AZCFL Game of the Week. Little run play here for Tucson, trying to run it downhill. You can see some guys up front, some of the linemen with their hands wide. Jonathan Rorlick, one of those guys. Not sure what the penalty is going to be all about, but the previous play there for the Thunder, big-time yardage, and they believe that they can win this football game, and that's the beauty of this league, right? Any given Saturday in many cases.
Well, and that's the thing, too, Kevin, is like I spent the last 3 or 4 broadcasts going down on the field in about 10, 20 minutes and just watching pregame warm-ups. The individuals that play in this league, they are damn good football players. I want to get that straight. And they're huge. I mean, some of these guys, like we've done the Spartans, we've done the Canes, we've done the heck, the Thunder have a couple receivers who are legit in size and really athletic. And we're watching their quarterback right now, Charles Belts the fourth. He's kind of shredding up the secondary here for the Outlaws. And with pressure in his face, the Outlaws are consistently bringing edge pressure, A-gap blitzes, and they got one of the best linebackers in this entire league in Johnny Grant. That dude is a baller, and Belts is doing a great job tonight.
Belts has taken a couple shots on the chin, and he's responded, but coming back with haymakers in his own right. And now here they are knocking on the door. They're in the red zone for the second time tonight. And actually, I'll say that's the first time tonight they threw over the top to run into the red zone and run right through it and score a touchdown. That was the 59-yard scoring pass play from Belts the fourth to Grigsby. And both teams missed their extra point on the ensuing drive for the Outlaws. It was quarterback Brandon Schilling punching one in from about 5 or 6 yards out. He rushed one in and scored a touchdown. And for the Outlaws, that was their 9th rushing touchdown of the season. I'll give you a clue on who has the first 7 rushing touchdowns for the Outlaws, and his name is Ben.
I was going to say, it might be Ben Williams. You never know with these rosters. Heck, we're really fortunate, though, because there was a coach who came up literally right before the national anthem, gave Kevin and I about 6 or 7 different jersey switches. So, heck, we're in week 8 now, and we're still getting some jersey switches, which, hey, you got to be on your feet in this league, man. I appreciate it.
And you know what that is, Cody? That is a sure sign of attrition, right? You got guys falling off and certain things. We talk about the family element, the fact that these guys do this for a hobby. This is a hobby for these football players. It's a tall task to practice during the week and then get out here on Saturdays and represent your community, represent your team. But these guys are doing it tonight. Belts the fourth, fires left, and the ball is in and out of the hands. He wanted Grigsby again, and I'll tell you what, that ball was thrown because the pressure was coming in, and I think Belts the fourth had to release that football about a split second too early. Coming in the kitchen on the hunt was Zachary Salzman once again. But I tell you what, that throw with a lot of mustard on it, Cody, had Grigsby had another split second to react to that throw, that would have been another touchdown because that was a perfectly thrown ball.
You know what, Kevin? And not only was it a perfectly thrown ball, I thought the timing was money.
Absolutely.
Maybe split second, but right when you make that break, because it's a too-high safety, safety's rovering over the top, and there was still a nickel. We call that a cover 5 where he's covering under, safety getting over the top for the over-top help. You got to be quick on that. Combo route, 2 receivers on that side, outside receiver running the in route. A corner's going to fade to that back pylon, but because of that safety rovering, he had a quick dart that, and I thought Belts made the perfect pass, and that would have been another touchdown.
Yep.
But Belts, once again, big-time throw after big-time throw with accuracy.
And I'm going to add to that the decision-making, right? He had a couple different ways to go with that, but again, understanding the pressure in his kitchen with a big-time amount of heat, right? The kerosene on full blast right there, and he was able to make the throw. That was a beautiful football play. Even though it didn't result in a touchdown or a completion, it was a magnificent football play on both sides, right? Pressure, and then the quarterback answered and it was just an incomplete pass. Well, that was a heck of an incomplete pass.
And this is why I love this league, man, is because talking to people before this game, they were telling me the Thunder were going to get smoked. They were saying 30-0, 35-7, and here we are 6-6 with 1:30 left in the half, and our guy Charles Belts IV is balling.
How about the right guard, Carlos Duran? Belts is going to throw it.
It's a free play offsides, and a drop pick.
Ball was intercepted and then dropped immediately. I wanted to ISO the right guard. That's 71, Carlos Duran, Cody. Look at this young man. He is a specimen, and he's getting down there in the trenches, kind of leading things for this Thunder offensive line.
Well, how about 77? Who we got? Jonathan Rolerlick? He must be, heck, I'm Rolerlick. I mean, he must be 6'6", 330 pounds. I mean, that's a monster tackle over there, too. These guys out here are huge. I remember doing the Arizona Spartans a couple weeks ago, and they're two edge rushers who they're off the top of my head. I can't remember their names right now, the two U of A former products. Antonio Smothers,
yeah.
Man, one of them. Those guys are legit. So there's some big-time football players in this league.
They can get after it. Back deep for the Thunder is Angelo Martin. He already has a 20-yard play to his credit earlier. He's the deep back in a pistol formation here for Belts IV. Snap back, play fake. Belts IV looks for the far corner. The ball is going to be thrown away. Back defensively for the Outlaws, playing a two-way spot here. That was Ashur McMillan, a sure-handed wide receiver, playing a little cornerback this time. And, Cody, this is a simple one. Somebody zigged when they should have zagged. The ball was thrown outside to the front pylon for Belts IV. It was Grigsby towards the back of the end zone there by himself. Had the ball been delivered to the appropriate location, there again would have been another touchdown as Grigsby had the man beat on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's where the defensive back ended up, reading the pass better than the receiver. But to me, it looked like outside release fade, 50-50 ball when the receiver, like you were mentioning, maybe a little skinny post in to get inside release of the defensive back. And here we go, another big third down in the red zone for the Thunder.
Martin back deep, flank to the right for the Thunder is Jason Parrish. Two wide receivers to the near side. Grigsby's in the slot. Long count here. Short snap back for Belts IV. He's going to step through. Nearly lost his footing. Feels the pressure. Wants to throw. He does. And the ball is going to be intercepted in the end zone. Pressure coming from the interior. All over the play defensively for the Outlaws. Applying pressure was Eric Sipes. But making the interception was Hezekiah Demps Trannon. He's there to leap up in the air, catch that one right in his midsection as he was able to corral the football and fall out of the end zone. And a tough break as far as the spot is concerned. I thought you could have made an argument that he might have caught that ball in the end zone, but your initial instinct once you catch it is to leave the end zone and start to move towards the other direction. And that move is going to cost him some yardage. They're going to have to start shop at the 1 foot line here, maybe the 1 yard line, and they've got 99 yards to go to break this tie.
And that's a tough one there for the Thunder quarterback, Charles Belts. I understand you're trying to make things work, especially since it's worked for you previously in the game, being elusive, escaping the pocket with your feet. He did set his feet, but he throws a pass in, 5 or 6 Outlaw defenders are there. Almost, to me, just live to see another down. Throw that ball about 50 yards outside the end zone, get to 4th down, maybe a field goal spot, and the Outlaws come away with the pick.
From his own end zone, it's Brandon Schilling. He run it up the middle, and running it is Ben Williams. You can tell it's Benny by the look again, the Rozier look. That Nebraska tailback, you kind of look right there. But I tell you what, for Williams, you got to give him the football right there and run behind those bigs. He is a one-play back, so you give him a chance to run 99 yards. That would have been a lot of fun. Instead, he picks up 3, maybe 2 after the spot, so not really a favorable spot. And we'll see. I've got him for 3 on that particular carry, unofficially. Ball's on the 3, so they just gave him 2. 6-6 tie. Final 41 seconds countdown here at Bellbank Park. This is the AZCFL Game of the Week. Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron. Working left to right. Snap is back for Schilling from his own end zone. From the back of the end zone. He throws down the middle field. The ball's going to be caught by the wide receiver. And making the reception is Murguia. Nicholas Murguia makes the catch around the 32-yard line. A 30-yard pass play from Brandon Schilling to Nicholas Murguia. That's a chain-moving throw and catch, Cody.
Yeah, you're in a run formation, and Schilling drops back, rolls left, sets his feet, and throws an absolute dart across the field, a deep post, and he was able, how about the front guys up front, man? The front offensive linemen were able to give him time enough to throw a 35-yard deep post as he's right in the back of the end zone there, but a tremendous throw and catch by Schilling, and Murguia picking up the 30-yard gain.
A couple feet in front of his own goalpost. Right? You can't get too much further back in that end zone. You got to start being concerned about your own footwork. And the snap back as well, right? So a lot of things could go and get a little hairy right there, but it was a perfectly executed play by Steve Seeley's football team. The 4-3 Outlaws on the move here with 18 seconds to go. If you're thinking about a field goal opportunity, it would have to be you got to get close to the 25-yard line to give yourself a realistic opportunity, and that might be somewhat ambitious, Cody.
Yeah, and on our monitor right now, it says the Outlaws have 2 timeouts. Not sure if that is correct or not, but you pretty much hear, Kevin, you have 2 plays, and it doesn't matter with those timeouts where those plays are, but I'm guessing we're going a little trips bunch left here, maybe a jump ball situation. Just let Schilling rip it.
Cody, I'm a little surprised. Are you questioning our staff here?
Absolutely not, man.
The monitor might be inaccurate.
Hey, they fixed our first quarter, live stream up pretty good. I'm giving them props.
Max Vokoon does a great job. He's our executive producer. He's the one that gets it done behind the scenes. Luke Metzner down there on the sidelines. And CK, Chris Klein, the Christian Klein, I beg your pardon. The whole group always see a magnificent job each and every week. Murguia lines up to the near side. Across from him is Josiah Holloway. So one-on-one coverage if Schilling wants to take a chance this way. He looks left entirely, looks back towards the near side of the field. Now he's going to run it to the 35, to the 40-yard line. He'll show the football at the 41, and it's all about the spot, Cody. And I think the spot is going to be a little bit short. It would have been the side judge on the far side, Tito Smith, making the call, but for the near side, I thought he was able to get past the line to game, but they spot him short.
Well, the good thing is for the Outlaws, the clock only took 2 seconds off the board. On a play that was probably 10 or 12 seconds. 18 seconds on before the snap. Now there's only 16. So the Outlaws get a huge break on this play. What they were trying to do is fake swing screen trips on the trips bunch side and go deep. We used to call that log and go. Obviously did not fall for it, but it didn't matter because only 2 seconds ran off the play clock.
Murguia lines up to the near side. Cody might have discovered something more of a challenge, and that is the slow hand at the play clock here. 2nd down and 1. Snap back for Schilling. He throws a deep ball near side, wants Murguia, and there's all kinds of pushing and shoving around the 35-yard line, well past the 5 yards of a line to contact, Cody. But you talk about some hand-to-hand combat going down the near sideline there. That's what we saw with Holloway and Murguia, as once again Brandon Schilling took the home run shot. Clock stops with 11 seconds to go. Score remains a 6-6 tie as we approach halftime here from the Bellbank Park in the AZCFL Game of the Week.
About to show some defensive tackle love here, Kevin, because I watched this entire play unfold. The 3-tech for the Thunder, big 93, Freddie Camarena, with an aggressive and nasty spin move on the offense guard. I wish we had replay so you could see this, because this was filthy. This was Julius Peppers-esque, and he brought that. He brought the pressure and the heat to Schilling and caused that quick throw.
So the ball will be spotted on the 40-yard line of the Outlaws, working left to right, wearing their white pants with their camouflage unis. Trip to the far side. Schilling over the middle. The ball is caught by Seeley, and Seeley, as he tries to make a football move, loses his footing, and he'll pick up the 1st down. He'll pick up about 9 yards on the play, and I call and refer to Seeley as a twitch guy for plays like that. Sometimes his moves are so fast, so quick, that he'll even shake himself out of his own shoes, and he did right there. Or we could make the case that the turf monster came up and got the player for the 3rd time here in this ball game. We know about the slick footing here. It is a real deal. And for me, Cody, my question to you as a former football player, how do you start to deal with the playing conditions? Is this longer spikes? Do you look for a longer cleat? Do you change your shoes a little bit, or does this start to play and create a little mental aspects as well, mental challenges, I like to say?
No, definitely updated spikes are go-to, especially with sick field. But honestly, Kevin, some stuff there's not much you can do. If you're making a 90-degree cut on something like this, or you're T-stepping and driving, sometimes that cleat's just naturally gonna give out, especially if it's dewy on the top of the grass, which a lot of these players have mentioned, especially the players that play at the 7 o'clock game. And also a new discovery today, I guess it's this slippery even at the 10 o'clock game. So
Yes.
I don't know if that's a watering schedule issue. I don't know what's going on, but I do know what's going to go on right now, Kevin, as we get our first Hail Mary attempt on a broadcast. And we have not got one, so I'm excited for this next play.
51 yards away. This is Brandon Schilling and company. Boy, you know what? I wonder if Schilling has changed his jersey number. There goes the action man in motion. That was Andrew Williams. Schilling winds up, deep ball, far sideline, the ball's incomplete. Nearly intercepting the football was Marcellus Williams. Ball was intended to Seeley, and as play comes to a close here, as time hits triple zeros on our Longines scoreboard, it's halftime here at Bellbank Park in Mesa, Arizona, at the Legacy Sports Complex on the AZCFL Game of the Week. It's the Thunder from Tucson, 6, and the Outlaws from Phoenix, 6. Stay with us for all of our halftime festivities coming up next.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to halftime. I'm here with quarterback of the Outlaws, Brandon Schilling. Brandon, a tight one so far. What do you guys need to do to pull it away in the second half?
We really just got to get everything together. We got to execute. Really just execute our plays. We're missing one here, one there, just little things here and there that really causing us to not execute our plays, which is not making us drive down the field to score, really.
And how are you guys gonna clean up those little mistakes?
Halftime right now, we're gonna figure out what we've been doing wrong. We kind of have an idea. We're gonna figure out what we're doing on the run game and get that kind of going, and hopefully get this pass game going as well. That will obviously roll up the scoreboard and get the scoreboard going up. Hopefully, know the W.
And how do you feel about your defense so far in this one?
Our defense is this game. I don't think it's made what they are, but they've been keeping us alive this whole season. That's huge props to them. They're the backbone of this team for sure. This game, it doesn't make them. If anything, look for them to be the second half to be theirs.
For sure, for sure. Thank you very much. Brandon Schilling, everyone. And welcome back to our halftime interviews here. I'm with the Tucson Thunder, Ty Grisby. And so far, what a performance for you. Tell me, how were you able to keep your feet in bounds and run all the way to the end zone on that long catch and run?
It was just sideline control, basically. Basically know where the sideline's at, where the out of bounds at, and just make sure you stay in between.
For sure, for sure. And how do you plan on attacking the Outlaws in the second half to come away with this one?
My plan is to make them double to me so they can open up the run game so we can start running the ball.
Absolutely. What should we be looking forward to in half number 2?
More first quarter. What happened first quarter, pretty much.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Ty Grisby. And back to the booth.
Welcome back to the Sozo Press Box. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside Cody Cameron. We're ready to begin our second half in a 6-6 tie. Cody, you look for some smash mouth defense in that first half. We saw a little bit of everything. We saw some great RPO option, some excellent quarterback play from Charles Belts IV. And we saw Brandon Schilling do a little bit of his own magicianry, if you will. And we just had a great defensive scheme on both sides, slowing these offenses down.
Kevin, let's call it what it is. Defensive battle where, honestly, the Tucson Thunder, the 2-5 Thunder, have come up 2 hours from down south up here to play the Outlaws. They have outperformed the Outlaws in this football game here. They have dominated the third downs. You know, they have got them to jump off sides multiple times, and they have executed. So minus that big pick, both teams had a red zone interception. That's that defensive battle. Looking forward to a good second half here.
It'll be Rafael Flores to put this one in play. It's Grigsby to the 20, 25. Now he's going to reverse his field. Still on his feet looking for a blocker. And he's going to lose his footing around the 19-yard line. And you can only assume that if he didn't just blow out his right knee right there, he just lost his footing. The turf monster, once again, the fourth time here tonight we've seen a turf incident. And this time it's Grigsby that goes down. But you see those two guys right there, Grigsby and then 32. We're still trying to seek his name and information. But 32 and 24, Grigsby, those guys have been getting beyond the secondary. They have been able to stretch the field here in this first half to allow Charles Belts IV to have success.
And it's been the third down passes from Charles Belts IV. They have executed to perfection. 3 or 4 third down and long conversions where he was able to elude pressure from his face, set his feet, and deliver absolute darts to his receivers. A lot of them, Kevin, for larger gains, about 30, 40-yard gains.
Yeah, in sweet, he's been clutch. No doubt about it. Parrish will line up to his left in a shotgun formation with 3 to the wide side. An RPO again. He gave it up this time for Parrish as Parrish spins around at the point of contact and then spins and falls forward for about 4-yard gain. But a nice job there on the right side of the offensive line for the Thunder to get that push, Cody Cameron.
How about the quick spin? I mean, that's hit an X on the PlayStation stick right there, Kevin. Quick spin right at the line, man, making a defender miss and picking up 4 yards.
Are you a PlayStation guy or an Xbox
You know what? I'm not a big video game guy anyway, but anybody on the broadcast, I will take you on in 2K, so let's rock.
In 2K Hoop?
2K Hoop, man. I'm a big, because you get to play with some of the legends.
Oh, I like
those
that.
Older teams, man. I'm all for it.
You can play with Magic and Kareem and guys like that.
Heck, Vince Carter, Toronto Raptors team with a young T-Mac, that's a damn good team to play with.
Now, what's the level as we get back to this football game for Charles Belts IV? 6-6 tie. From the pocket, dumps one to the outside. It's incomplete. More pressure coming on the inside this time. Applying some pressure in the middle was 8-8 Stallsman. Again, we've mentioned his name 2 or 3 times tonight, but him and his friends are getting back to the quarterback, and they're a little bit rude to Charles Belts IV.
I'm going to put it in a meaner way there. They are nasty. That defensive line, like a couple other teams in this league, the Phoenix Outlaws defensive line, they are nasty. They are physical with their hands, and they are active. And they are making Charles Belts IV night just a little bit hasty, but he's doing a really good job, especially on third downs, being calm, cool, collective, and throwing darts as we get this third down play.
4 wide receiver packets, 3 to the short side of the field in a shotgun formation. Low snap. Here comes the pressure, and the ball is going to be thrown on a post to the near side. Incomplete pass. 32 was the intended target. And for the big fella, you know, I like these uniforms. I got to be honest with you. The Thunder, as much as the hype and the conversation was all week long that Cody had alluded to early on in social media platforms and Facebook and whatnot, but the Thunder were going to get rolled here. And you mentioned the Outlaws. Well, it's the key word here is the out, and it's the Tucson Thunder that's put the out in the Outlaws. They have outperformed Phoenix here in the early going, and they are just making things difficult. Now, what kind of adjustments will Coach Seeley make for his offense? And do you think we'll see Rico McNeil at all in any capacity? We haven't seen him on the field yet at all tonight.
No, not at all. And I see him on the sideline right now. The very first thing you got to do is not give him a fake punt. And they block a punt.
It's blocked. And it's picked up by the Outlaws at the 10, the 5, and rumbling into the end zone is going to be a touchdown for the Phoenix Outlaws. That is Tyson Muse as he picks up the block punt and rumbles into the end zone some 10 yards away for an Outlaw touchdown. And who needs to go over the offensive game plan when you have your special teams rising to the occasion? This time they weren't going to get beat by the block or the return or the fake punt here by Grigsby. Instead, they get the block punt. They pick up the loose football. Nobody else wanted it, but Muse did, and he circled around to the 10 to the 5 and just punts it in as he looked pretty good running into the end zone for a touchdown.
Broadcaster's crystal ball right there, Kevin. You just asked me about adjustments. Hey, in the first half, what did the Outlaws do? They gave up a fake punt on 4th down. They missed an extra point. They're jumping off sides. Here to start the second half, they get a quick 3-and-out led by their ferocious defensive line. And then Tyson Muse, big number 50, the linebacker for the Outlaws, scooping up the block punt and rumbling his way into the end zone for a touchdown.
And now, speaking of block, there's another block on special teams. It would have been out of a hold from Jamel Ward, but this time the special teams kick gets blocked up front. I don't know who was there that got a handle on it and got a hand on it in this case, but it was Bradley Friesen, and clearly no handle on the coverage up front for that ferocious kick block coverage, but a special teams gaff at the same time as another special teams miscue for one team to the other. So it's special teams with a huge imprint on this football game here, something that we've alluded to on several broadcasts. How much time, how much emphasis, how much kind of practice time can they put into special teams? Typically, we see it when it goes awry.
Now, and I was talking to Zach Elvira, who's on the Rebels and also part of our working crew up here in the booth, just about practices right now as they get later in the year. And he said, they only practice once, Kevin, in a 1 hour, in a 1 day a week, 2 hour window. I mean, how much time can you emphasize on it, right? Because you want to work on schemes and get ready for your next opponent and scheme up that and getting scout looks. And it just gets tough here. Great answer going back to the game here by the Outlaws defense, and this is something they have done continuously through the season. Their defense keeps them in games and wins them football games, Kevin.
They sure do. Here comes Flores, near side, kind of kicks it away from Grigsby this time. Grigsby is a true playmaker, every sense of the word, for this Thunder football team, and now the Flores kick goes out of bounds, and maybe a smart play for Coach Camarena, if that is indeed the correct coach. But it is 12-6, 11:49 to go in this third quarter. Couple of numbers for you here at the break. For Thunder quarterback Charles Belts, 5 of 9, 106 with a touchdown and an interception. And for wide receiver Ty Jai Grigsby, 4 catches for 57 yards on that touchdown. None bigger than the huge play. Let's see. Double check the numbers there too, because I thought that was a 59-yarder just on the one play. Perhaps he's caught another ball and lost yardage on that. So 4 for 57 there. And Ben Williams, 8 carries, 72 yards for this Outlaw offense. Him and Schilling have done a nice job. Schilling 78 yards and a pick. So it's Belts going to get dropped in the backfield. One of the guys that was there was Tevin Ray, and he was there with a trio of defenders. Also there for the Outlaws was the big fella coming out of the middle of the field. How about number 56, Joe Shelton, a defensive tackle and a nose tackle. He can play either or, but he's a run stuffer in the middle. This time he gets to the quarterback.
And literally the Thunder right now, they have to do a slide protection to the left or something, because this is the 4th or 5th time the Outlaws have brought this delayed Raider blitz package on the right side of this defense. Tevin Ray exploding off the snap, unblocked, comes untouched, and comes up with yet another sack. Big night for the former Centennial Coyote.
Tevin Ray unabated to the quarterback, and he just got him there, and he just dropped him down to the turf. Little help on the cleanup on the outside by the big fellas. But here we go. 2nd down and 20. Low snap. Looking to the right side. Steps up in the pocket. Fires. The ball is incomplete. Ball started to run out of life. Intended target for the Thunder was Alex Magana. Magana, he too, Cody, lost his footing on his way down. I think the pass might have been just a little bit underthrown, but maybe Magana dropping down to the turf to make that adjustment to try to bring that ball in, but ill-timed throw right there.
And it's simple for me to see. I'm up in the broadcaster's booth, the eagle eye, but anytime the Thunder go trips right, they are going to bring, the Outlaws are going to bring this delayed pressure on the right side with this blitz. It's the backside pressure, so Belts isn't going to see it on his backside there. The running back has to pick up this delayed blitz, and they're just fanning in a zone on the opposite side of that, and the Outlaws are taking advantage of this defensively.
Grigsby will line up in the slot to the right. Low snap to the left side of Billups. He throws, and the ball is nearly intercepted. He wanted Grigsby outside the numbers. Once again, another timing throw, but stepping in the passing lane and nearly picking that one off was John Lewis. And just as we give Charles Billups IV all kinds of praise, now he's starting to make some unorthodox type decisions. Maybe it's pressure from the outside. Maybe it's that exchange between the center and the quarterback, because the ball's arriving at different sides of his body. So perhaps the timing is thrown off a little bit for one thing or the other, but the Outlaws secondary again right there to make a nice play.
And they love that smash route. They've run it, 3 or 4 times on those third down situations. Outside hitch and then inside corner. And the corner was there again. The safety's he's kind of slow getting into that half of the field. It's just errant throw, and that's because of the pressure. That time, the Outlaws brought that double A gap pressure.
Here comes the snap back. It's going to be Grigsby to fake it again. He's to the 30. And he'll try to spin out of some trouble around the 32-yard line. Cody, I was just getting ready to say that they've tried the fake punt. They've had one blocked, and the quarterback is the up back there. He's the one that's basically barking out the signal on the snap back. And I was about ready to ask you, as they snap the football, will they dare try another fake here inside their own territory? To me, this is just way too Boulder Dash. It's just too risky. For a game that you're down by 6 to take that chance here early on.
Yeah, and in the first half, the Outlaws just sucked in, lost contain. Now they're doing a good job of floating 1 or 2 defenders back. The problem for the Thunder there is about 4th and forever, about 4th and 20 on that punt, and just a little bit too far, and we have an illegal chop block as well. So no matter what, it's going to be the Outlaws football. But the Thunder, or the Outlaws, are doing a really good job of floating back, and they're able to contain there, and now they have a fantastic field position once again for their first offensive series in the second half.
Classic case, you go up to the blackjack table, you only have $200, and on your second to last bet, you bet $100 or so, and you come up empty, and now you got 100 left. What are you going to do? I think they just win. They just spent too much money on that last particular sequence, and now the Outlaws are set up with a short field. They get to go 32 yards to find Pater once again with a hot quarterback in Brandon Schilling. So working left to right in their camouflage uniforms. And how about that guy back there? We just asked about Schilling, and we just asked about Rico McNeil, and it'll be Rico McNeil. Talk about the broadcaster's crystal ball. It's McNeil getting a snap here in this second half. Trips to the edge of the line. They run it to Williams on the student body left. Williams with speed to the 20, and he tried to cut it back around the 19-yard line and got tripped up right there. But you mentioned it, and you used the term one cut. It was a student body left, pitch to the left, and for Williams, great speed to the edge, makes that cut, got to that second level, tried to cut it back inside, and then lost his footing once again.
And I love the formation. They run that quick toss in. You got trips bunched to the left. Everything's banjoed usually in a secondary like that. But then you get some play side pull tackle with it there leading up for Ben Williams. One cuts the safety who's trying to fill the alley and just scoots down, and he's nearing 100 yards on the game now.
With 77 at the break, give him another 10. He's got 87. Play fake. McNeil over the middle of the field. The ball is in and out of the hands of the wide receiver. Trying to make a play towards the 5. And here comes a late penalty marker coming in. That came in from one of the field judges. And then the secondary, maybe running it a little bit, was Josiah Holloway. And for my money, Cody, in a one-touchdown ball game with 7:52 to go in the third quarter, I don't know what was said, but was it egregious enough to throw the flag? Because I think that's when you can let him play a little bit.
I think it was number 6, Marcellus Williams, and they're going to get him, for the unsportsmanlike conduct. I don't like that call at all. He's just letting the receiver know, hey, you didn't catch that. I got the clamps on you, man.
I got you.
And it is the most normal PG talk. Once again, I'm saying that from up in the booth. I don't know what was said, but normal PG talk of all time right there. 2 competitors getting after it. I do not like the flag call there.
First and goal to go for the 10. Working right to left, it's Rico McNeil at quarterback. Back deep is Ben Williams. This is Williams on the sweep to the right to the 10. And he tries to motor towards the 5-yard line, and he'll get knocked down around the 6. Good pressure coming in from one of the linebacker spots for the Thunder. Getting to the ball carrier in a hurry was Bradley Friesen, who serves as a linebacker and also plays a little tight end. But Friesen right there with some great pursuit to the football and a tackle on Williams, who was running downhill, and he just looks good. Again, that one-touch kid, he could score anytime he gets the rock in his hands.
And the Thunder defense has played tremendously well inside the 10-yard line here with their backs against the end zone. And they've really only given up one touchdown because the other touchdown came in a block punt here. Let's see if they can get another big stop here in the third quarter.
Gain of 4, 2nd and goal from the 6. It's Williams behind McNeil in the pistol formation. He gets the call again to the 5, spins out of a tackle and then gets crushed right there as the cavalry comes up. 3 more blue shirts coming in a hurry. One of those guys there leading the way for the Thunder was Kinsey Bullitt, and you love that name. We go back and forth, Cody Cameron, on the names that we like, but how about that name for Bullitt, as he just came up there and just came shooting out of a cannon right there, no pun intended.
Big time football name right there. Kevin, they need to go back to that set though. 3-by-1 set. The Thunder are not rotating players over there. Here it is. They're going trips left. The play before, the Thunder only had 2 defenders on that side. Easy 3 for 2. Watch for the quick double slant pick, arrow coming underneath that. If they run that, I think it's going to be wide open.
But Williams now in some pass coverage at the end of the formation. 5:52 to go in the third quarter. It's 12-6 Outlaws with the lead. Timeout taken on the field. If you notice that formation, they had Ashur, the wide receiver, Ashur McMillan, on the outside right at the numbers. On the inside slot to the left, was the tight end Jacob Reed. And then they had another wide receiver to the slot to him to his right, but it was Williams who was on the edge in pass protection. It could have been one of those jet sweep kind of formations, as you might have alluded to.
Well, and that's why I think the Thunder head coach took the timeout there, because they just did not have the bodies to cover any type of combination route there. Heck, Jacob Reed is a really good tight end in this league. He already has a 27-yard reception today where he caught that ball behind the line of scrimmage on an RPO quick screen, made a defender miss, and then scooted down the sideline. If they go in that trip side, it's an easy pick with the front or the 2 widest receivers just going slant, arrow right under them, and the Thunder, they don't have enough bodies. So even if they switch, one of those guys is going to be wide open here. Let's see if they go back to it, and they are going to go back to that 3-by-1 set.
What does Coach Seeley do here out of a timeout? Thunder trail it 12-6, 5:52 to go in this third quarter. Pistol formation. It's 0. Rico McNeil in at quarterback. 3 wide receivers to the left. He has 1 wide receiver to the near side. That is Noah Fleck. The deep back out of the pistol formation is Williams. Long count for McNeil. The turn, they give it to Williams, and Williams is going to be stuffed in the backfield, nowhere to go at all. Great pursuit to the football by the Thunder defense. In fact, the Thunder defense were waiting for Williams right out of that set. And with the extra time for Coach Seeley, the play call, perhaps they changed the play call. They definitely changed the formation. And you got to credit the coaching staff for the Thunder to not only force the Outlaws into taking a timeout, and we'll see where they pay the price on that timeout here later on in this fourth quarter. We'll see how that changes the complexity of the game. But now, on a 4th down and goal from the 7-yard line, let's see what the Outlaws do here. This is a pivotal play here for this Thunder defense, to say the least.
Kevin, that play right there lets me know that, hey, we're going for it on 4th no matter what. I didn't necessarily like that offensive play call just because the Thunder were so tightly in the box. You said the word waiting. They were absolutely waiting for that run call. Big 4th down here now in this third quarter.
4th and goal from the 7. Reads the slot man to the right. McNeil evades some pressure, spins out of a tackle. Here comes the Thunder defense, and they take him down. They're going to get a sack of the quarterback, Rico McNeil. And the Thunder defense answers the challenge on a 4th and goal to go, and maybe a 4th in the season. And they take old Uncle Mo, and they continue to ride with him at shotgun. They've taken away the momentum here with a big-time stop inside the red zone. Bend but don't break, certainly not broken here. And the Thunder get the football back, and with this, they put their guy, their playmaker, back on the field, and Charles Belts the 4th.
How about the third stop inside the red zone for the Thunder defense? 2 in the first half, and then a huge one there where that ball was probably at the 2 or 3 yard line on first down there, Kevin. Getting the stops, getting tackles for loss, making it uneasy with pressure in front of Rico McNeil, who had nowhere to throw that football, just had to step up and took a licking from the defense. Monstrous stop. Now, if you're the offense for the Thunder, you got to get something going here.
Alex Magana breaks the huddle, lines up right at the numbers to the far side of the field. Bunch formation. Play fake for Charles Billups. They run it to the tailback. This is going to be Angelo Martin. And Martin gets strung out. And he'll finally get dropped to the turf by Wilfredo Lopez. He's the other 21 out there. And for this Thunder defense, they stand on their head, Cody, and I bring up their defense one more time. They get the stop. They get a takeaway here. And in the idea for Tucson, down by 6, if you recall the last touchdown that they give up, their defense has only given up 1 touchdown. Of course, the special teams on the block punt, thereby amused. Otherwise, we are knotted at 6. Not to be. It's 12-6. Outlaws. Time a factor here late in this third quarter with 3:18 to go. The Outlaws are being very deliberate, trying to get themselves set. Grigsby lines up in the slot to the left of Phelps. They're showing blitz. Here they come from the end zone. Deep ball near sideline, and there's nobody home. For the wide receiver for the Thunder, Grigsby, he was the intended target, but the ball was thrown out of bounds, and he broke his route off. And, of course, Belts threw the ball down the field, Cody.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a wheel route, I thought they'd go post wheel, but it looked like the outside receiver maybe stopped at a deep curl. But number 8 for the Phoenix Outlaws, that's Jordan Brown, the strong safety, did a great job of rerouting him. Maybe a little bit too far downfield. That's what Grigsby was saying. He's saying, hey, he put his hands on me about 15 yards downfield. But a great job of rerouting him, taking him literally out of the play there.
One thing that Coach Seeley will do is he will play offense knowing that he's got one of the top defenses in the league. So why not gamble with that short field? It was McNeil that got stopped. There's a snap. It goes back towards the end zone. And unfortunately for the quarterback, he's got nowhere to go. And Belts, the 4th, is going to get dropped for a safety. A bad snap was the culprit here. And for the Phoenix Outlaws, they pick up 2 points. We want to be sure who we think we saw got to the quarterback for the Outlaws. It looked like it was Eric Dennis that got to the quarterback. Again, it was a bad snap. Charles Belts, the 4th, in a complete fire drill. Thought about kicking it for just a second. Knew he didn't have enough time to get his leg out and get a punt off. And instead, he gets dropped in the end zone for a safety, a huge safety here. And that'll make up the miscues on the special teams for the Outlaws. They get the 2 points right back, and they get it back the easy way.
Yeah, absolutely brutal there for the Thunder. I mean, your defense has literally kept you in this football game and played really well and still has only given up 6 points, 1 touchdown in this game. If you're the offense there, obviously your first goal is to score, Kevin, but at least try to flip the field. A safety, that is not in the agenda there, obviously.
No.
And the Phoenix Outlaws, man, once again, another strong side of their team, their defense, the front 7, they've been getting after it, and they've been ferocious all night long. Coming up to safety, we got a 14-6 ball game now in the third quarter.
Now it's Grigsby with the free kick, Cody, but he can't get fancy here. He can't get cute. He's got to absolutely kick this ball. No fake coming up here, and gives us an opportunity to take it social, Cody. What is going on Facebook tonight? What kind of fan interest do we have from our global viewing audience tonight here on the AZCFL Game of the Week between the Outlaws and the Thunder?
Always a great audience, man, and that's why I really appreciate this league. There are people who care about the league. They love the broadcast, especially since we got it up and running after the first quarter. And another great night for football.
You talk about the punt of the night for Grigsby. You looking for a little Ray Guy hang time? There it was right there. And here come the Outlaws on the return. Out of the pile is the returner for the Outlaws. Fumble on the play. Let's see who comes up with the rock. The Tucson Thunder say they've got the football. And meanwhile, the return man is a little bit banged up. Well, one guy on the return. Okay, Carl Evans Jr. on the return for the Outlaws. Shaken up on that particular play was Ashur McMillan on special teams. The ball will be spotted at the 40-yard line. Unofficially a 30-yard return. We'll call it 33 yards on the return for Carl Evans Jr. Penalty marker down, and the infraction goes against the Thunder. So with 2:01 to go in the third quarter, the Outlaws have outplayed Tucson here in this third quarter, and they've outscored them 8-0, but it's been their defense that's led the way.
Yeah, and they've done a great job of halftime adjustments, really keeping Charles Belts, the quarterback for the Thunder, in the pocket, not letting him get comfortable at all. He's been errant on a couple throws. They have back-to-back, the first series with 3 and out, and then getting a big safety here in the second half. I want to see some offensive movement. I mean, Benny Williams has been phenomenal in this football game, but let's see Rico McNeil if he can get in a groove, and if that happens, it's going to be a long night for the Thunder defense here in the second half.
McNeil works out of the pistol formation. Now he takes a step back. He's got Williams behind him. He gives the ball to Williams. Start in, bounce it out, cut it back inside again. Now he's got himself a lane. Here's Williams as he cuts across the football field, and is going to be tackled after about a 9-yard gain. There is a player that's banged up here for the Thunder, and I believe that is one of their offensive linemen. Some of that beef up front. The big fellow right there, Gabriel Graciano, slow to get up. But how about that run by Williams as he cuts against the grain, and he is dangerous when he's going against the opposition, cutting back.
And that's why I like Williams, and that's why I say he is one of the top running backs in this entire league. He's so patient. You know, I know you've reiterated a couple of times, 1 to 2 cut runner, but he's also so patient, following his blocks, does a great job of looking at the hole and exploding right through it. He's a big-time playmaker in that Outlaws offense.
McNeil again works out of the pistol, 2-by-2 formation. It's back to Williams, to the 20, 15, 10, to the angle, to the 5, and he is going to score himself a touchdown.
Explosive.
A 23-yard gallop to the end zone for the Phoenix Outlaws. Larry Williams, Benny, getting it done as he houses one here. It's now 20-6 with 34 seconds to go in this third quarter. Quick shout out to Jim Bond watching tonight's game globally. Announcer makes no sense. Well, Jim, yabba dabba do. What are you talking about, Jimbo? Let us know what your thoughts are. We'll give you a shout out, and we'll also call you out. What are you talking about, Jim Bond?
That is awesome. How about Benny Williams, though, man? I just talked about the explosiveness and especially the patience in the hole. That, to me, right there is the best running back in this league.
No doubt.
He is filthy in the backfield, man, and big-time playmaker. He is the one-touch to the house type of player, and he does it once again for the Outlaws. So it looks like they're going for 2 here.
Larry Williams in the box for the 8th time this season, and now Rico McNeil's got his football team ready to go. They're lining up to go for 2. Under a blitz for the Thunder. McNeil over the middle, and the ball is in and out of the hands of the intended target. Trying to make a one-handed grab was Noah Fleck. So yabba dabba do, Jim Bond. There we go again. Incomplete pass for the Outlaws. They pick up the touchdown. 2-point try is no good. 34 seconds to go in this one. It's 20-6 Outlaws. They're in command. They're in the driver's seat to win their 4th straight game. And Cody, I want to just ask you, you talk about the most improved teams in the league. These 2 teams are making a bid for that honor, right? That distinction. The Thunder, winners of 2 straight, and now the Outlaws, winners of 3 straight. They're playing great football right now.
Yeah, and that might have been the best first half for the Tucson Thunder all season long. But you look at traits, right, and how you bounce back from adversity, especially after, you know, having a punt blocked and then having a safety. That's back-to-back very bad possessions for the Thunder, where the Outlaws now have capitalized both on touchdowns. The Thunder here, you have to score. I mean, this clock runs in this league on everything, minus timeouts and obviously quarter breaks. Got to get some points on the board here.
So it looks as though that Coach Seeley will send out a new kicker. And for the Outlaws, ready to kick this one will be Francisco Fuentes. We've seen other guys kick it as well. We've seen the big fellow Rafael Flores kick. Back deep is Grigsby. And also back deep for the Thunder. It looks like it's Montana Davis. That'll be Grigsby. Fumbles it at the 22. Picks it up. Here comes the rush. Grigsby tries to split the defense. He's got nowhere to go, and they're going to take him down. Ball comes out late, and that ball did come out. Here again, Cody, we're wishing for the replays, but that ball might have come out late. There is a player down for the Outlaws, a special teamer. That's Daryl Johnson Jr., and they're going to try to help him up. Meanwhile, for the Thunder, down 20-6 with 23 ticks left on the clock here in the third quarter. Nice special teams play this time for the Outlaws as they made some adjustments here at the break. And at the break, it was Steve Seeley's team that's really made the biggest impact here with those halftime adjustments. We haven't seen the Thunder being able to really move the football as effectively here in the second half as they did in the first half.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we spotlighted this Outlaws defense all season long, especially the big guys up front. And this front seven is flying to the football, and they are making Charles Belts the fourth night here in the second half very, very difficult. Here, I know you're loving the comments, man. I think they're supporting you, though, man. They're all for that catchphrase.
I think they're laughing at the yabba dabba doo, but that was from our guy Jim Roman, I think it was, who was talking to Mac. I mean, he said, "What's the announcer talk about?" So there's one of two guys he could be taking a slap at, either myself or yourself. And either way, we say, Jim, what do you have to say? What's your swag? What are you talking about, dude?
I think Jim wants to be sideline reporter for next week. I think he wants to get a shot at it. Here, as we enter the fourth quarter here, though, Kevin, this is what I'm talking about, resiliency. And Charles Belts has played amazing in this football game,
He's played well.
Up to like the last two series where the Outlaws have just brought pretty much the house. They are showing different mixes of double-A gap blitzes and edge blitzes and raiding a bunch of stuff. And heck, Carl Evans is a name we just talked about returning a kick, but that is another defensive player who's an absolute baller in this league. He does it all for the Outlaws. We haven't talked about a lot of the corners and safeties for the Outlaws because there really hasn't been that much pass plays. I mean, a couple third downs here and there, but outside of that, they have been clamps on these Tucson receivers.
Yeah, one thing I will say that the Outlaws defense has done is they've just kind of forced the issue. They've made the plays. They've had that want more, right? But they've made the Tucson Thunder one-dimensional. So they can kind of get athletic and get interesting and be a little more deceptive with the RPOs, with Belts, but they've taken away that run game. There's no real threat to run the rock for the Thunder, and I think they're just pinning back, and they're just daring him to throw the football. And, well, the Outlaws have gotten there to make a big-time change in this game. Dump it out in the flat. This is Belts the fourth as he completes a pass to his tailback, Angelo Martin. And Angelo Martin, as he got in space near the boundary, just got absolutely leveled by that Outlaw defense. One of those guys on the hunt was Johnny Lewis, 2-7 over there, laying licks for this Outlaw defense.
But that's a great job by Belts, giving what the defense is providing you. They're going to give you that swing pass, take it. That's going to be a 7 to 10 yard gain almost every time. I think he's tried to force a couple passes here in the second half. He did late in the first half with that pick where he threw it. About 6 defenders for the Outlaws just standing in the end zone. Take what they can give you. There's still 14 minutes left in this game, and just get some drives, get some momentum going here.
No doubt about that. Benny Williams having himself a night, another MVP-type night for the top rusher in this league. Over 100 yards now for Benny Williams. But it is all about the defense for the Outlaws. It's Belts, the fourth. Outside pass going to be caught there by Davis. And Davis tries to make a football move, and he's going to get tackled. There were 3 defenders over there for the Outlaws. One of those guys there looked like the linebacker running downhill, making a tackle was Johnny Grant.
Johnny Grant's a stud. I mean, he's one of the best linebackers, one of the best defensive players in this league. He's been doing it for a couple of years now, and he is a baller. And now, if you see the Outlaws now, they're just playing not a prevent defense, but they're keeping everything in front of them. They will give up that 3-yard hitch all day long, especially, I mean, it is draining a ton of clock. Tucson is they're huddling every single play, and they're taking 40, 50 seconds off every single play. That is great for the Outlaws defense.
And I had mentioned that earlier, that just the fact that they're so deliberate setting their offense up, it just takes way too much time. They need to create a little more tempo for Charles Belts the fourth. And you go back to that last play, Belts the fourth to Davis, just a gain of 4. So you talk about a 4-yard hitch instead of a 3-yard hitch here. But Billups scrambling around the pressure, evades the pressure, and throws the Hail Mary near side. That ball was headed right towards us, Cody. It was a lame duck kind of pass, but there are penalty markers back where the quarterback threw the football. And you have two Outlaw players looking at one another saying, trying to defend their position. One of those guys there was the guy that's played spectacular on the defensive end. That is Carl Mons. And he, too, again, wreaking havoc as he has a meeting in the backfield.
Yeah, and that's going to be a late hit on the quarterback and a free 15. And just one of the negative things about the Outlaws this season, the shoot themselves in the foot, the conflicted wounds, man. They've done that consistently all season long, and it's been tough because it's lost them ball games. And this is no time to start doing that. And they've done a good job, I would say, for the most part today, Kevin, of not making those mistakes. Can't start now because the Thunder and Charles Belts, the way he's been playing today, he can capitalize on it.
You give them life. That's what you're doing. You give them a little bit of life, and you get a chance to throw it over the top. He's already done that here in this football game. So you add the 15 yards as they approach the 50-yard line, working from the 48-yard line. Long count again. They play fake it, and they run it up the middle. Do the Thunder go? Looked like Gary Wells making his first carry of the night. Caught that little pitch as he was coming through, but it was Wells with the carry, and he got tackled up front, really about a gain of a yard. And again, as the front four for the Outlaws, just making it difficult, no running room at all. And that is why the Outlaws can just literally wait for the opportunity and go get the quarterback, Charles Belts IV. They can just dial it up anytime they want to.
100%. They just tried some misdirection there with the fly sweep, and they actually handed it off in the inside zone, and there's just nothing in there. The Outlaws front seven plug in everything.
Outlaws show blitz. Here they come. Belts over the middle of the field, and the receiver had fallen down. The wide receiver was his tailback. That was Angelo Martin. And Martin, he too lost his footing in the middle of a football field. And boy, you take away all the plays where the guys have lost their footing, and you wonder what could be.
Yeah, Johnny Grant was coming on an A-gap blitz there as well. He also slipped right as the snap was went off, man. And so guys are really starting to, especially if we see in the midfield there is some wear and tear about where the ball is right now out of the 49, the 50-yard line. And there's a lot of guys slipping here in the middle of the field.
I think what we're seeing with that wear and tear is a little bit of usage. Again, this is the fourth game of the night. Just how many times do they play 4 or 5 football games in one day? But you're also seeing that transition from that winter ryegrass into the spring turf. And it's just all about more fertilization and a lot more water. This field can't take any water. As the quarterback gets belted, that's Belts the fourth. He gets popped from behind, a blindside hit. The ball's out, and it's recovered by the Outlaws. And lowering the boom was Carl Mons. Recovering the fumble for the Outlaws was Matt DeLuna. And you talk about a big-time play to drill the quarterback and separate him from the football. Another takeaway for the Outlaws. They've done it twice tonight.
Yeah, the Thunder offensive line has really struggled in this ball game, especially picking up some delayed blitzes. That time, just Carl Mons beat the guy in front of him and ferocious backside hit, forcing the fumble and another turnover created by this Outlaws defense.
When they talk about having a franchise left tackle, that's the reason why they have a franchise left tackle. That's why the left tackle gets paid the most money in most cases on that offensive line, because he will protect the blind side of a right-handed quarterback. That time, no protection as Belts got absolutely blown up, and that's the second turnover of the ball game. Another takeaway for the Outlaws to go along with their special teams block punt. It's the Outlaws right now in command here, 20-6 with 10:33 to go. There goes Seeley in motion. He's the action man on the near side. High snap. They run it to Williams again. Williams makes the first man miss. It gets to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to get taken out right there. Excellent pursuit to the football. Knifing in for the Thunder was the big fella, Frederick Camarena. And Camarena, he's just made plays all night long, Cody Cameron.
That dude's a monster, man. Put some respect on his name. Camarena making big play after big play for the Tucson Thunder defense here. The only problem is it's Ben Williams' time. And when you have a running back who can move the chains and be as explosive as Ben Williams is in the backfield like the Outlaws have, especially with the big guys up front in the offensive line, creating those holes, a lot of misdirection that they do, a lot of play side and backside pull. That's a recipe for disaster for the Thunder if the Outlaws can control the clock and move some chains here with only 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Ben Williams, 15 totes, 122 yards, and that league-leading 8th rushing touchdown of the season. Schilling in motion, snap back for Rico Meneo, a play fake. Throws the ball down the middle of the field, and the ball is incomplete. I beg your pardon. That ball was thrown outside the numbers on the far sideline. Was trying to ISO on Rico McNeil. He did a little Statue of Liberty right there to give himself a little time, bought some time from that edge rusher, got himself out in space, and just a poorly thrown ball to the wide receiver.
You know what's funny, though, is in this league, I was going to say, why aren't you running the rock? The clock still runs. You know, incomplete passes, that clock, I believe, outside of 2 minutes still runs. So I actually don't mind the call. A little RPO play action pass there. And Rico actually spun it pretty well. He put it in a position for the receiver to make the catch, and the clock still runs. They get the best of both worlds with an incomplete pass with 8 minutes left in the fourth.
And here we go. McNeil ready to throw it again. Rico McNeil in relief of Brandon Schilling tonight. 20-6, 8:47 to go in the fourth quarter. Snap is back. McNeil surveys, throws a deep ball down the middle of the field, and this ball is incomplete. He threw into double coverage, running a route along the slot for the Outlaws was Noah Fleck. He's been targeted 3 or 4 times this evening. No completions to record, but you have to like the idea that the Outlaws and head coach Steve Seeley, they continue to attack. They have outscored the opposition 167-96 throughout the campaign. That's a plus 71 in the PD, the point differential. They can make plays, and they can dictate the pace of this game with this 20-6 lead.
They really can. And a receiver we haven't really mentioned too much is Jer McMillan. And that guy's a phenomenal receiver, you know, on the outside for the Phoenix Outlaws. We got a 4th and 11 here, and big play here for the Thunder defense.
Little comment on the chat board about the refs cheating. I don't know about that, but that's all right. Here's Williams again. Williams with a nice hole running off that left side. And I tell you what, I love the way this kid runs. If you ever watch football at any level, this kid Williams runs like he's played in the league. He runs low to the ground. He protects the football. He's got breakaway speed. He can break tackles. He is one tough hombre, this kid right here. Larry Ben Williams, 2-1 right there. He gets it done, and he's got the most positions next to his name. He's got 4 of them. He's a halfback, kick returner, punt returner, defensive back, and he also drove the team here on that Greyhound bus here tonight.
And we call that the Mr. Do-It-All player. But the only thing about that play, Kevin, that kind of I don't understand. So you take a shot on 2nd down. Okay, you take another shot on 3rd down
Through the
in double
air.
coverage. But then it's 4th and 12, and then you run that toss one. That's that's not a play to, hey, we're going to get to the sticks on this play, man. So interesting play calling there for the Outlaws. But nonetheless, the clock is still running in this league where the clock runs consistently outside the 2 minutes.
Cody, something that we talk about in all facets of life. It's called the element of surprise. And I think Coach Seeley was trying to catch the Thunder and surprise them a little bit here. Now they run it, and fumbling the ball initially was Parrish. He gets the handle on it, and he just drives forward down the middle of the field, running in between the hash marks. And one of his better runs of the night, but it was ill-timed in a sense because it was the lack of timing that allowed that play to create it was slow to develop, and even the defense was slow to react.
Hey, that's all great, fine and dandy. You get 5 or 6 yards on that inside zone split there. Tucson's got to have a sense of urgency here. You know, to me, offensively, they're not playing like they want to win this football game. I'm not saying that, I'm in the huddle and it's not like that, but the sense of urgency in the field, they are letting a ton of clock drain, Kevin, and as we head under 7 minutes here, and they're slow. I mean, literally, they're walking to the formation, walking to the snap here. No real sense of urgency at all for them to score.
None whatsoever. They'll just continue to be rather deliberate here in a 4 wide receiver package. Snap is back to Belts, the 4th. Fires near side, and the ball is incomplete. It just seems like it's an entirely different offense here in the second half. The timing hasn't been there for this Belts-led pass game. And the ball falls incomplete again. Losing his footing perhaps was Angelo Martin. But are you surprised that the tailback is running deep routes like this?
Maybe. I mean, I'm looking at the sideline here, and I don't think the Thunder have under 26 players out here suited up. You know, so once again, and this is not just the Thunder, this is many teams in this league, depth, right? Depth becomes an issue. You got to get your playmakers to rock, you know. So if my RB1 is is also a guy who can run a 9 route with some burners. Guess what? He's going to run a 9 route. So I'm not too surprised. Once again, I'm just kind of shocked by the sense of urgency here.
No doubt about it. 32, we finally got it. That's Cal Meese. Belts with time, loads up, deep ball, down the middle of the field. The ball is incomplete. Oh my, he had an open receiver in Marsalis Williams. And I'm not sure what happened there, but Williams looked to be, well, let's double check that. Is that Marsalis?
That is.
That's Marsalis. Tell you what, he was past the defense. He had beaten the secondary, and I'm not sure if he just lost the sight of the football there, Cody, because that ball was, it looked like it was well-thrown ball over the defense.
Yeah, from up here in the booth, not obviously the best angle right behind the end zone. The end zone shot would give us a clear angle on this, but not only did he beat the safety, he looked to have about a 1 or 2 steps on the safety, and that ball looked like it went right through the hands of the basket. I thought that was a great unleashed bomb there by Charles Belts, giving his receiver an opportunity for the basket catch, just could not connect. And now we're in a big 4th down situation for the Thunder.
That was a 45-yard throw in the air that should have been caught for what could have been a touchdown. And now this Outlaw defense will put 4 down linemen. They'll rush them all. Belts with some time. Great footwork. Deep ball again. And the ball is going to be picked off on the near boundary. Intercepting the football was Carl Evans Jr. as he just puts an emphatic punctuation stamp on this one. Outstanding defensive play there. Playing center field, roaming that secondary. And he ball hawks one for the 3rd takeaway of the night for the Outlaws. And we can say all we want about the challenges offensively for the Thunder. What's dictated the pace of this football game is the toughness and the physical play of the Phoenix Outlaw defense.
Yeah, I mean, which is most likely the dagger in this football game, the true center fielder, and that is Carl Evans Jr., one of the best defensive backs in this league, rotating over Robin number 1 as Belts sets his feet, unleashes another bomb, unfortunately this time into double coverage. And Evans putting the stamp on this game. And how about the Phoenix Outlaws in this second half? The big goose egg in the 3rd and 4th quarter, pretty much absolutely shutting down this Tucson Thunder offense. And 3 forced turnovers in the second half, Kevin. That Outlaws defense getting it done.
How about Danny Elijah watching the ball game globally? Take that damn visor off. Can't see a damn thing. Well, there you go. Daron Reeves chimes in with
the poop emoji.
The emoji.
Hey, Daron Reeves is a player in this league who's pretty damn good, too.
Absolutely. They run it here to Williams. Spins out of a tackle at the line of scrimmage and finally gets taken out. What an outstanding open field tackle by number 3 for the Thunder. In there is Daron Billups. We have not said Billups' name very much tonight. He's also a two-way guy. I'm surprised they haven't run the football with him or used him offensively at all, but Billups is a two-way stud. He's a dynamo, Cody.
It's just because Benny Williams, like I said, I just felt like this was a 25 to 30 carry night. You get a guy with that much momentum, especially who just is so patient behind his blockers. The offensive line creating massive gaps, especially in the second half for Williams and the other Outlaw running backs. They just got him going, and they feed the rock. I was interested, though, in the quarterback switch. I thought Schilling's did pretty well in the first half. Maybe they just wanted something new, and either way, it looks like the Outlaws are going to roll to a victory here.
I just think that they felt like their defense was going to put them in successful position no matter who the quarterback was. McNeil on a play fake. He throws on the field. The ball's going to be caught over the middle of the field. Making the reception and then making a football move was William Craglow. And Craglow makes the catch and then turns it upfield as he's finally brought down around the 33-yard line. Nice little throw there by Rico McNeil. Great catch by Craglow, and then that move after that to pick up extra yards going down the field.
Yeah, even though they're in shotgun there, it's a little West Coast offense, a little play action. You have backside drag from one of the H-backs, and pretty good gain there. Good ball by Rico, too, setting his feet and throwing it right in the chest of his receiver, picking up a first down here.
14-yard pass play, 1st and 10. Outlaws with the lead, 20-6, 2:28 to go. They have the lead and the football in a 4-wide receiver package. Remember, we saw Storm Seeley leave the game with an apparent ankle injury. That's why you're seeing Craglow in there now. This is Williams. And for my money, Cody, this young man, Mr. Williams, he has a chance to be a 1,000-yard rusher in this league. And if he's able to accomplish that, that would be tremendous for not only Mr. Williams and, of course, the Outlaws, but that offensive line. For any player to receive and go over 1,000 yards in a 9 to 10 game schedule is magnificent.
Yeah, any season. And if anybody out there thinks it's easy, well, you go put the pads on and go run 1,000 yards in a league. And it's, you know what's funny, Kevin?
Yeah, Jim hasn't responded in a while. Where's our boy Jim?
Jim hasn't responded, but I think I called Ben Williams, and this is tough too because we broadcast a ton of high school football, and we do, you know, in the fall we're broadcasting AIA games and state games, and we use the word kid. And someone in the comments said,
I did see that.
Ben Low-key's old. I don't know how old Ben Williams is. Maybe he's over 30. He's still a pretty damn good running back, man. And
he looks
one of the
part.
top ones in the league.
He looks the part. You could put Ben Williams at Sun Devil Stadium in front of 72,000 fans against USC, and we would have no idea if that was Gerald Riggs or Ben Williams. And either way, that's a tribute to both Gerald Riggs and Ben Williams. You talk about two different ends of the spectrum. For the Outlaws, they pick up the takeaway tonight. 3 more. They have got 16 takeaways, 14 interceptions. And for Evans, he's got 2 here tonight. It's been this defense here that has been really good. It's much of the superlatives that we had brought out in the first half for Charles Belt IV and his playmaker, Ty J. Grigsby. It's just all defense here. McNeil to the air. Ball caught again by Craglow. Ball's loose. And let's see who's got the football.
I think it rolled out of bounds. So retain possession here. The Outlaws will keep possession.
So Craglow makes his second catch. The ball will go out of bounds. Big time break for the Outlaws. They'll keep the football, but Seeley remains out, so he's banged up. We'll see if we can't get an update on Storm Seeley, but right now he's not on the football field. We'll keep an eye out on that. And the other Outlaw performer that we haven't said his name very often tonight has been Assure McMillan. They have not thrown him the football once tonight. He hasn't been targeted at all.
And he's got 2 jersey numbers. I mean, every time we do a broadcast, I feel like his jersey number's switching, man. So the element of surprise, like you say.
Trips to the top of your screen. McMillan lines up to the near side. I'd be taking a shot right there. They run it up the middle, and this looks like it might be Craglow getting the tote here. Correction on that. For the Outlaws, running the football for the first time tonight is Carlos Gonzalez. That's the listed fullback. He gets the carry, and he's able to move the chains. Nice run right there as he finished it, as he was running downhill to get the necessary yardage to move the sticks.
That's what the Outlaw running backs do really well. And a player who was hurt today, Booby Conley, another big, powerful back, but they get forward. You know, they're north to south runners. They get forward. And we are getting confirmation that Ben Williams is actually 38 years old. He's almost part of the 40 club there, Kevin.
There's no way that kid's 38 years old. We need to see a birth certificate on that for us to believe that. If he's 38, I'm 65. That's not happening. Again, trips to the top of your screen. Short snap back, play fake for McNeil. Winds up deep ball. Going for the man we just talked about. It's McMillan, and he dropped the football inside the 20-yard line. Boy, you got to – my guess is, Cody, is that somebody has a headset on the sidelines, and they're listening, and they're watching this ball game from somewhere. We just talked about the fact that McMillan had not been targeted, and I had even suggested I'd be taking a shot his way. And on the very next play, they dial up long, and McMillan – he dropped the football. Maybe that's why they're not throwing him the rock. Tough break right there. That's what we call a heartbreaker.
And the opposing defensive back, Jordan Pollock for the Tucson Thunder, they've had some friendly banter all game long. I see them jawing at each other on the side a little bit here. Azure just absolutely gassed past him. Just didn't complete the play, man. That was easy 6. A good ball by Rico McNeil, too. Putting it right in the breadbasket. And need some grip boost, Derek Sure.
Same formation. Trips to the top of your screen. You talk about 6. You got 6 defending 6. Instead, they run it up the middle for Gonzalez. And Gonzalez is going to be stood up after he picks up about 4 yards. Behind the play, picking himself up off the turf for the Tucson Thunder is Frederick Camarena. He's had himself quite an evening. He's going to rest comfortably here tonight. And for typically, Cody, what would you think these guys do after this tackle football game tonight? Do they go immediately to some therapy, some ice baths?
It's beer and burger time, man.
It's
like us. Beer and burgers. That's what I would do. I mean, honestly, you're probably burning up to 2,000-3,000 calories at these games. Get me a 6-pack and get me a Western bacon cheeseburger.
All right. That's what's on the docket here for now. We have a little pushing and shoving on the edge here. oddly enough, as they take that snap, the final 30 seconds will wind down here. We have hit triple zeros at Bellbank Park here at the Legacy Sports Complex in Mesa, Arizona. You just witnessed the Arizona Cactus Football League Game of the Week on the CMX Network, powered by Cactus Fuel. So for Cody, Cameron, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Glad you could be part of our broadcast tonight. Don't go away. We have conversation upcoming on the field with Lucas Metzner. We will have our player of the game, and perhaps we'll have one of the coaches down there. We'll talk with those guys, but it's really been about the Outlaw defense tonight. We gave a lot of kudos early in this game to the Thunder, the way they played in the first half. They came here, they came up north to win this football game. They have a 2-game win streak when they took the snaps tonight. Unfortunately, they lose it here 20-6, but they played an honorable football game. They played tough for that first half. They gave up a special teams touchdown early in that third quarter, and that kind of broke their spirits. And then it was the Outlaw run game that was really been instrumental here for their success all season long offensively. And it was Ben Williams, once again, over the century mark again from him. He was the star of the game for the Outlaws on the offensive side of the ball, Cody.
Tale of two halves there, Kevin. Like you said, I really thought the Thunder outplayed this Outlaws team in the first half. I really did. I thought Charles Belts played really good, and they were able to complete the third down pass, and convert on fourth down. And a couple breaks went their way. The defense, I thought, for the Thunder played great the entire game. Outside of a couple of runs from Ben Williams, they did a really good job of containing the passing game for the Outlaws. The Outlaws they converted on everything in the second half, and the defense tightened up, and there was absolutely nowhere for the Thunder to run all game long. And the Outlaws, the best part of that team is that front seven defensively. And they forced 3 turnovers in the second half. Even some of those interceptions.
And had a block punt.
And had a block punt. A lot of those turnovers were forced with pressure in Belts' face.
We're going to take it down to the field. Here's Lucas Metzner with the head coach of the Phoenix Outlaws. Go ahead, Lucas.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-game interview. I'm here with Coach Russell Whitman after the win. Coach, what did you like the most tonight about your guys' win?
I liked our defense, the way our defense played in the second half, the turnovers that we got.
So special teams, you guys got a big special teams touchdown. Do you think the practice this week prepared the guys to execute on special teams?
Yeah, most definitely. We spent a little extra time last Wednesday on special teams, especially our kickoff, so that was a lot better. Holding them, and then, like you said, we got the punt block and return, so that was good.
For sure. And, Coach, what prompted the quarterback change in the second half?
We just felt we were just a little stagnant on offense, so we tried to put Rico back in. He had been nursing a little injury a few weeks ago, so he felt he was okay, so we put him back in.
And then last question, what do you guys need to do next week or carry the momentum to get a W next week?
We're just going to have to play better on all 3 phases of the game. We're going to have to get our offense rolling a little bit more. And just like I said, all 3 phases, we're going to have to come and play hard to get that win.
For sure. Thank you very much, Coach Russell Whitman, with the win tonight. And the Outlaws win 20-6. And that'll be it from me on the sideline today. We take it back to the booth with Kevin Derryberry.
Thank you, Lucas. We appreciate that information from Russell Whitman down there on the field. And the Outlaws got the big win, and they now improved to 5-3 overall. They've won 4 straight games. It was the Outlaws using 2 different quarterbacks. They used Schilling in the first half, and they went primarily with Rico McNeil in that second half. And when you have that ground game of Benny Williams doing what he did, I don't know if we mentioned it enough, Cody, but that offensive line, they really were solid tonight. They were big up front. They got a lot of push up front, and they gave Ben Williams a lot of opportunity to have success, and he exploited that defense.
And that's why I think the Outlaws are dangerous, especially as we head into playoff time, because they got a recipe for success.
They do.
They have a great defense, a nasty front seven, and 2 or 3 running backs who are phenomenal backs. And they add that depth, especially when you get players like Booby Conley back into the backfield, who is really the Thunder punch in that Lightning and Thunder combo there in the backfield with him and Ben Williams. So you get players like that healthy, you got to play mistake-free football. They're still trying to learn and get to that level. And I think if they do, absolutely they can compete with the Canes and the Spartans if they play mistake-free football.
Cody, it always seems like we go into threes, right? And we talk about offense, defense, and special teams. Those are the three keys in those areas. But you look at the Phoenix Outlaws, again, with a record of 5-3. They've won 4 straight contests. They're starting to believe. We know one of the 3 keys for them already. They've got a championship-esque defense. That is already a given. We know they have a championship-type defense. They have enough defense to win the entire thing. No question about it. They've got 2 good quarterbacks, so they push each other. That's Rico McNeil and Brandon Schilling. And they got that home run threat and Ben Williams. They got arguably the top run game in all the leagues. So they've got all the ingredients necessary to bake an award-winning cake. Will they do that? They're playing their best football at this right time. Can they get enough players? You go back to their quarterbacks and the running backs, and they also have that wide receiver we mentioned late, but for Ashur McMillan, he's one of the better wideouts in the league too. So they've got to take the top off the threat as well. They've got every kind of weapon that you want. They just have to go out and execute, because we've mentioned it a time or 2 or time or 3. It's the self-infliction that has caused all the demise for the Phoenix Outlaws.
Yeah, they're clicking at the right time, though, and for a team that's made up of that and has the agenda that they want to do, that, hey, we want to punch you in the mouth, run the football, and then play tremendous defense, that is big time heading into the playoffs. Just got to put it all together at the right time there, Kevin.
Our final score tonight, the Outlaws win it 20-6. And the Outlaws are now 5-3. I beg your pardon. The Tucson Thunder, they've dropped to 2-6. It was a fantastic win streak for Tucson. They see their 2-game win streak come to a halt. For Max Volkoon